I'm deeply honored to have the pleasure to be part of this meeting, deliberating on this very important subject. Let me begin by saying South Africa fully supports the Biarritz Partnership for Gender Equality, as well as the establishment of a Generation Equality Forum for mobilizing international support for the achievement, finally, of women's empowerment and gender equality. I do feel a sense of sadness as I stand here and talk of these matters, given my own country's poor record on femicide and gender-based violence. And as we deliberate, I ask myself, what are we going to do different from today? And how do we ensure, as institutions such as this one, that those who sit at this high table and give the undertakings we're all giving today deserve to be at this high table? What will the measure be to decide who will sit here when we report on whether we have made progress or not? I think we need to set some incentives that will help us determine who will sit here. If we do not have 50% in a legislature, the country must not be here. If women are not represented, if women do not have a full role in senior decision-making structures in their country, they should not be at this table. There must be an incentive for achieving progress. Because if it is too easy to have the opportunity to articulate a perspective here, it is easy to neglect the gender equality agenda. So next year, we will mark 25 years since the adoption of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. This was a historic roadmap signed by 189 governments, set a wonderful agenda for the very matters we deliberate today. And indeed, there have been many achievements. And thus, Madam Executive Director, we do support the efforts you're making because we do make incremental progress from year to year. And so we must never tire. And that is not the intention of my contribution. My point is we must monitor, evaluate, and be firm as women. I therefore think it is vital that we do not rest. It is vital that we do not allow the rights of women and girls to regress. We must mobilize ourselves to do our part in realizing women's rights and gender equality in our various countries, in our regions, and ensure that all international instruments are respected and observed in practice. Our success will be measured by ensuring that women play a role in governance, that women are represented in public life, that women are economically empowered, that women enjoy financial inclusion, that agriculture is modernized, that women have access not just to land but to its ownership, that women have access not just to technology but to its innovation, that women have access not just to markets but to their control, that women have access not just to infrastructure but to owning it, that women have access to capital and make research. All of these are matters we must address. So, Chairperson, what should we do differently to ensure generation equality means real change? Women's empowerment has to be enshrined in law. These laws should set out equal social, political, and economic rights. And I believe, as our first democratically elected President Nelson Mandela believed, that the first of these laws must be the right to compulsory education for all children, boys, and equally girls. Without that law enshrined in statute, we won't make the progress that we are all discussing today. We must also ensure that women in rural areas are not left behind, that they themselves enjoy access to land, its ownership, and to the appropriate financial support. We must ensure that all forms of violence against women and girls are eliminated. We must ensure that we address the awful danger of conflict and war and its impact on women and children. And again, countries that inculcate conflict and war very easily should not be at this table. I thank you, Chair.